In other words, no university, none that I've approached, even my own university, will go up against the government. It is too political. So you can't do the research to prove, not in this country, to prove what is going on.
And even if you did it in a private institution, they would never say that it was good enough.
No, but I mean, I have 2 university degrees and a diploma. I'm well qualified to do this. A multi-millionaire in this country said, I will cover all the costs. I had a blank check, but they wouldn't do it. It's too political. And this is where we are. We have a government that controls what the universities say. And I think that is a very sad state in the world. And I know it happens in some of the universities in America, and I know it happens in, I think it's a Scandinavian university, where people are either sacked or told not to research this.
Yeah, in Karolinska, in Stockholm, Ole Johansson, he got the message that either he leaves or he shuts up. And they have moved him around. He's sitting in almost a little box now, and he cannot do anything because he doesn't get any funding.
There was a professor of experimental medicine in America who I've spoken to, and he rang me one night and he said, be careful, Barry. He said, I have just lost my entire research department and from that university, speaking out against the mobile industry. And he got a job with another university, but overnight they shut him down. Overnight.
Yeah, we also saw that with Professor Santini in France with the mobile towers. And I have, you know, Professor Mile from Germany, he talks about free energy and scalar waves and all this. But I did an interview with him last year, or actually I let him talk because, you know, he's in all this physics and I'm not in physics, so I couldn't really say anything intelligent. But he said I won't talk about the mobile phone industry, but he talked half an hour, and when that comes out together with this, you know, it's. But Barry, I remember when I go to Copenhagen, I hate being in the big cities actually. I prefer countryside with nature and animals and so on. But, you know, normally I get tired. And I also get very warm. Could that be due to the heavy CO2? So that there's actually not enough oxygen. So therefore you get exactly tired and you get more and more apathetic and lazy and...
Well, it could be due to the CO2. It could also be due that maybe you are becoming sensitive to microwaves.
Not really.
But you wouldn't know if you're becoming sensitive.
No.
There is no way for you to know. Unless you go somewhere where there are no microwaves and you recover, you wouldn't know, and this is one of the problems.
Yeah, but I stay normally in places where there are no microwaves.
Oh, then you're okay.
Yeah.
Then you're okay.
And I stay with the computer sometimes 15 hours a day without problems.
But I mean, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide poisoning, yes.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So that's exactly what's happening. And people are becoming so... You know, it's sad for me because I say, we need to do this, and they say, oh, you tell us what we need to do, and people go into resistance. I try to free them from this, but that's what's happening. It's too much CO2 from the wireless.
But what I can't understand is why these people have so much power. I mean, people in government must now realise what is going on. We have kings, queens, the people I've spoken to, they all realise what is going on. The people themselves realise what is going on. When I was in court once trying to argue against the Tetra, and at that time there were some 90 other places in this country fighting tetra. So people know what's going on, they know the harm, but nobody is able to do anything, and that's what confuses me.
Yeah, but it's really, I've been through all that too. What I see this as, when people become so influenced from these technologies and lose their energy, their vital energy, they become automatically fearful. And being in fear, they cannot take action. And then again, they are all dependent now on income. Two incomes, because the houses have got bigger and bigger and bigger, and the cars, because people have got more materialistic. So now they're so dependent. And in times where we have recession or depression or whatever, the ones controlling, they have the power because the other ones are afraid of being sacked. Because, by all the letters I've written and DVDs I have sent, I would have a very bad taste in my mouth if I were the receivers of that, because how can you resist this and say it's about children, it's about coming generation, they just do this because they need their money.
But it's not just, when I spoke earlier of the birth defects and the genetic defects in children, it is the birth defect and genetic defect of every living thing. We're talking in the oceans, plant life, trees, animals, even slime mold in the soil. It is because when you get down to the DNA, it is all the same. There is no difference between slime mold DNA and my DNA in terms of at the atomic level, how it's made. There are different genes and different chromosomes that work, but when you get to what they're made of, there is no difference between all of them. And they are all affected. Every single living thing on this planet is affected by the microwaves. Everything.
But when you then look again about the GMO and how Monsanto from the US is pushing that through, then it might look like a genetic experiment they're running here, that what we call life, the normal life, the human life and everything, is actually being reprogrammed. It's being changed, so we can only eat things now in the future. That's GMO, and everything is becoming so synthetic in this world. But we will change it next year.
But and what confuses me is the people force. I wonder whether the people up there, whether they think that once they've destroyed the planet, there is a spaceship that's going to take them somewhere else to live, because they have to live here. And this is what confuses me, is if they have, do they actually know what they're doing? Because, what's the point of ruining a planet when you've got to live on it? So I can't understand where they're going.
If you look at the picture you have in the background, they are not reaching out for the true God. They are not connected to God, the true God. So
but they must realise that if they want to be wealthy and powerful, you can only be wealthy and powerful if there are people who are poor below you and people who do what you say below you. And if you make them all sick, or you destroy the infrastructure of the planet so there isn't enough food and there are riots and they're all going to come after your palace or something. So I can't understand their mind, the way they're thinking.
No, they have a sick mindset.
Possibly a sick mindset.
They say, we're living in a psychopathic control grid of society, and most of the people on top, they're really psychopaths, and they have all the traits, and they're cold-blooded. They will kill you and I without blinking their eyes because they have no empathy.
Oh, I know they are prepared to kill people. In the experiment I said earlier with the servicemen, they had 20,000 servicemen, most of whom died. With Tetra, we're probably looking, 100,000 people may die of brain tumours. You know, it's a colossal. If we got 7,000 in this country,